and welcome to the Regen Network Community Dev Call, where we get to share latest updates from our roadmap and just what's happening in the Regen Network world. I'm going to share my screen here as usual and just walk everybody through a few things. A lot of our dev team is otherwise engaged, so I'll be presenting for a couple of folks. Cool. Well, so the first thing to say is just stay healthy out there. Our whole team, we're already mostly remote, so I think it's been fairly easy for us to adapt, and maybe that's true for many people in the crypto world. But stay healthy and stay safe. Hope everybody's doing well. For those who don't know, this may be in the way here. I did a pretty long form podcast with Vinay Gupta and Lucas Gonzalez, and Jaquan popped in there for a little bit about pandemic preparedness. And there's actually some pretty useful things mentioned there. Also on my Twitter, I've yet to kind of coalesce this, but I've been sharing resources and wikis and other things that, people may find helpful, but just sort of, ways to think and prepare in times like these. So with that, I'll roll in and do a quick blockchain roadmap update. So we're in the middle of the Elbe sprint. As everybody knows, our sprints are named after rivers. So we're in the Elbe River sprint here. And we finished the Gov module migration, in the middle of migrating fee grant module to protobuf, doing that work for the larger community in the Cosmos SDK, and working with Bez on protobuf transaction processing right now. The group module and election flow base implementation is done, which is really exciting. That's going to enable some pretty powerful DAO functionality. And working on fuller implementation with all of these cases and tests. And then on the ledger specific side, we're working on integrating with the registry that's being built. Specifications for their ecosystem service credit module and Postgres reader is still in progress, but it's been moving a little slower than we had hoped. Some quick CosmWasm testnet updates. Testnet is live, as I think everybody on this call knows, and maybe some of you who will be listening in are participating in, and if you're not, feel free to jump in. There are 200,000 XRN tokens at play here, so that's pretty exciting. And we're live. People are deploying ERC20 token smart contracts on Wasm right now with testnet. 70 validators are live on the testnet right now, I think last time I checked, which is pretty exciting. There's some links here for people to click through and see detailed information about this phase. Quick recap from Daniel's trip to London. He went on a research trip right before all of this Corona stuff started to get really crazy. And made some good firsthand professional connections with folks in finance who are looking at biodiversity and carbon financial instruments, which is sort of one of our midterm goals, to be facilitating that happening with a high degree of integrity. And there's sort of this whole initiative that he was engaging in that's very near and dear to our hearts here at Regen Network around connecting finance directly to remote sensing for spatial finance, which is essentially what Regen Network does. So there's a whole movement of people. I think we're sort of the only players in the public blockchain tool set around that. So that's pretty exciting. And he was out doing research regarding impact bond models, which essentially you could think of as aggregating credits like carbon or biodiversity into bond instruments where people can invest and then invest up front and then receive those credits over time. So sort of DeFi, a DeFi layer in addition to the credit registry layer. So a few updates on the registry application. The current sprint is the EMU sprint. So we're working on a checkout experience right now. So as many of you know, we actually have a set of credits that we're working on getting live. And so right now we're working on people's ability to just check out and buy those credits. There's been some upgrading to the map. So there's like a spatial component where people can actually see where the credits are being sourced from. And then the wider team is preparing to conduct discovery interviews for credit buyers themselves so we can learn more about what they're needing. We've been sort of more focused on the issuers and integrity around issuance and verification. So now we're starting to shift to the buyer side. Methodology and monitoring design is continuing. So right now, as we speak, the reason that Daniel and Corey respectively couldn't be giving the overview as they usually do to the blockchain and registry bit is they're helping facilitate the Piscinas Ranch suddenly remote gathering, which you can see has, I think there's like between 30 and 60 people at any given moment who are doing a big remote meeting, working on the ground methodologies for data collection for regenerative agriculture. And this includes the USDA and a bunch of amazing research institutions. And we're really proud to be supporting and learning from that community. So that's pretty exciting. That's all part of our work at Open Team. Which Will and Paul, who are on the call, are also a part of. So always excited about that. And that sort of ends my, my quick overview of things. As everybody knows, there'll be a validator planning meeting next Wednesday where we'll be debriefing in more detail about testnet stuff. And then the next community dev call is 2 weeks from now. So with that, I'm going to stop screen sharing, and I'm also going to stop recording.